Welcome to the podcast without a name. I don't have a name as yet for this, as I mentioned last time, largely because I don't hardly do podcasts anymore because I'm on afternoon shift, which drives me up the wall and I have to work this afternoon. It's 9:30 in the morning. This is bedtime for me. I'm Phil Davis from the washing line, or at least that's what they tell me. I'm here in the sumptuous surrounds of the Football Brisbane spare room, and I have a couple of very special people here today. You may have seen a press conference the other day, yesterday. Apparently, SamSaif is heading to Mitchelton. I was so surprised, you could have knocked me over with a feather. Welcome to the show today.
Yeah.
SamSaif, welcome.
Yeah, welcome. I was surprised as well.
Yeah,
and I was there.
Yes. And Leo Siriani, welcome, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's nice to have you two here. One thing caught my eye from the press conference is there were some very gregarious people there. I mean, you two are no shrinking violets, and I was the most subdued I've ever seen. Leo, you were fairly subdued.
I was a little bit shocked that Sam was coming over, so...
Yes, that's right. Who would have thought the rumours would be true? Yeah, no, look, congratulations on the move, Sam. Obviously, it's a good thing. And Leo, I'll kick off with you, Leo, because I know what Sam's like. We've had a long discussion here. Quite a bit of manoeuvring in the background, but I think you've got a quality coach. You think that's fair enough?
Definitely. Like I said, this probably wouldn't have come about. I had my little manager that knows a lot, Tony Jorka, so I do have to thank him for the last 2 years. He's been fantastic.
He's only been suspended once, I believe.
Yeah, no, he's been good. He's been well behaved.
Good on your tones.
But no, he rang me and said, listen, Leo, Sam's available, and basically cut him off and rang Sam straight away. And for me, it was, someone else was going to get him, and why not us? And like I said, for us, it's a great move going forward.
Yep.
Sam's record alone's superb, and not just Sam, it's Paul Edwards too that's coming over with Sam, and it was too good an offer for me to sort of sit back. And I said, I've got so much more to learn in football, and why not learn from these two that are coming over? Yeah,
well, we'll talk about Sam's record a bit later because I did sit up for 2 hours last night figuring it all out. But yeah, I think it's really hit the football community. It's a really big deal because Sam's record is so fantastic. You've got obviously plans of really pushing the club forward over the next. Well, I mean, look, I'm going to suggest off the top of my head, because I like being frank, I reckon you're in with a title chance next year. So, I'm just being honest. Sam won't say that, but
there's no pressure.
I would suspect that you'd be aiming for at least a top four, won't you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, top relegation was the first thing, but top four, and I'd be lying if I said I don't want to win it next year. So I put a bit more pressure on Sam. But every competition I think you start, you don't aim to sort of finish mid-table. You want to win it. And I think if we do the right thing, there's no reason why we can't with the right people involved.
I'm just glad you announced it because everyone seems to think I'm Sam's best friend. So they keep asking me every second, do you know where Sam's going? Like, nah, no idea. No idea where he's going.
Well, the biggest rumour was that actually that my club had gone behind my back. And
yes, I heard that as well.
And there was a few people jumping up and down saying,
you
Leo, what's going on?
You don't look particularly annoyed today, though, Leo. You look pretty
no,
happy,
like
mate.
I said, Tony rang me, and I'm the one that rang Sam. And then after I spoke to Sam, I spoke to my president and said, this is what I'd like to happen. And I said, my committee's fantastic. Every time I've brought something to their attention, they're willing to listen. And Roger said, Leo, if you think this is the best thing for the club, and I had their full support, and we spoke, and the rest is history now, I guess.
I heard a rumour you might be getting a new field installed.
That's the plan. We're trying to get an artificial pitch there.
Be like QPR Luton in the 80s, won't it, Sam?
They could be a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that I can't see it for 2015 for the beginning, but we're pushing for it.
Yeah.
But hopefully if it's not next year, it'll be the year after.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's worked wonders. Man United just got the same pitches put in, didn't they? And we haven't lost since. But Sam, Wolves. I've been looking forward to this, because I want to talk about your record. Just bear with me a second. I'm just going to go through your record. This is your record where at Wolves, right? So you've been there since 2008. In that time, you've won 137 games. You've drawn 24. You've lost 33. You've scored 580 goals, 235 against, That's in all games, league, cup, and finals. I couldn't include Silver Bird. It was driving the wall. You had 2 teams in after competitions for a total of 368 points. Your average goals per game for that time is 2.98, which is just ridiculous. Average league goals per game is 3.03. And I also looked at, because I sort of look at it as there's a couple of different eras. The 2010 to 2014, like 2010, that was when Hoppo and Vroom and that showed up. 3.3 goals per game in that period. You have got 3 grand final wins, 1 cup final win, which surprised me, 2 premiership wins. Does that sound right to you?
I forget. All I remember is this is a second league title.
Yeah,
which is more important.
Give us your thoughts on that. It's up to you.
Well, it's I know people say it's the coach, but it's down to the players. All I can do is give them advice on how to play, where to be, what to do, when, where, and how to do it. They've still got to go on the field. So the credit needs to go to the players, especially the players that have been there since day one, which is Paul McCullough, Nathan Reardon, Trent Clulo. Kado went missing for 18 months. Sasha Radulovic has been there every year except a year. Alex Janowski's been there every year except a year. So when people say that Orione signs foreigners...
well, I've heard that rumour.
Yeah, it's a vicious rumour. I know when we played in the Cup this year at Redlands, and I think against Olympic, every player on the field was Australian.
Yes, they were, indeed. I remember that.
So I think people...
Even Chris Knowles.
Yeah, permanent resident.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a permanent resident.
Oh, no, I'm a permanent resident as well.
Yeah, so everyone on the field was Australian. So they deserve all the credit. Then the people behind the scenes, obviously Terry and Tony Furphy, have been magnificent for me, being manager and ground official and cleaning the changing rooms and the kit. We are getting Terry and Tony to Mitchelton just to show Tony Girioca's how it's done.
Oh, well.
Oh, well,
what a combination.
Yeah, he's an apprentice, see, so they're going to take him through his apprenticeship and he'll have a certificate at the end of it. Yeah. And
he'll get a hug and a kiss from Terry.
Then Terry can officially retire once she's trained the understudy.
Yes, well... She's slowed down a bit.
Yeah, she's
walking back across the pitch at half time. The start's going to be delayed.
Yeah, she has to set off 5 minutes early, bless her. But she's been an absolute diamond. Glenn Lyle, who's fantastic. Paul Novak, who actually brought us to Wolves initially, and then carried on supporting us after his business went into administration. He's never left us. Yeah. And some other people behind the scenes. So they all supported us, and they all deserve credit for the run, especially in the last 5 years, finishing second 3 times and winning it twice.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt. I mean, I know you're a very humble man, but there's no doubt that you've become the best team in Brisbane. Yes. And what you've done, I think, was you made it sort of... You did what Alex Ferguson wanted to do to Liverpool. You knocked Rochdale off their perch, didn't you?
Well, when we first went, me and Paul, we looked at who the best team was. Yep. And we looked at Rochdale. So we said, well, the benchmark is to catch them and then hopefully pass them. Yep. The junior side, they've never passed them at Wolves. And we looked at them, how they played and what they did, and we decided that we could beat them. And we give the players self-belief. And I think his record, when they were at the peak, I think we only lost probably 3 games out of 13, 14 over about 4 or 5 years. And nobody had done that to Rochdale. Nobody. They were just beating everybody until we went. And they were a fantastic side, and they were the benchmark. And Kieran Cooper did a magnificent, and Tim Brown, a magnificent job with them. But we looked at them, and that's who we tried to catch.
This might be a bit of an odd question, but do you feel you could have achieved more? Because let's be honest, you missed the title by twice by a point, and you got knocked out of a couple of Canali Cups that you probably should have won?
Yes.
You lost the cup final to Lions?
Yes. Two cup finals, really. I think we should have won, but that's football. We didn't win it. I think the only title that really we should have won, because you can hit the crossbar, it can come off the line, you can have a bad decision. The only, and that's football. That happens to everybody. You have a bit of luck. The only one we lost when we lost to Redlands.
Yeah.
A referee stood in the middle of the 18-yard box in injury time. Free kick come over. We cleared it, hit him on the bike, and then Jordan Farina put it in. And I know because I'm a qualified referee. And what he was doing inside, stood on the penalty spot in the middle players zone, and he lost. We drew that game and cost us 2 points. And we should have won the league off of that.
Yep. So I asked you on the way in, highlights. Give us a couple of highlights from your time there.
The first highlight would be the very first grand final. We won that, and we were massive underdogs.
Yep.
If I go back and have a look, I watched it actually about...
Was that 1-0?
3 months ago. No, we won 2-0. 2-0,
yeah.
2-0. Sasha and Alvin scored.
That's right. Chris Beck scored in the other one. You 1-0.
The other one. And if you look at it, I looked at the team, and Christ, I'm going back now 7 years. And the people like Trent Clolo, Riedo, they were babies. And if you look at the actual team that played, probably only 3 or 4 would get in our first team now. And we played Capalabor, but the highlight was going to Rochdale, who just smashed everybody. And we went there, and we played out of skin, and we beat them. And then we went there, I think, the year after and won on penalties. And that achievement, and then also when Chris Beck scored the goal in the final, to beat the best team, in my opinion, at that time in Queensland, by a long, long way, to beat them in 2 semi-finals on their own pitch and then beat them in a final when they were at their strongest, was probably the highlights of winning the league this year.
Yeah, look, I was having to think as well, because I've followed your career pretty closely over the last 6 years, being a good friend with Cato. And that season with Hoppo and Stephen Broom really stands out for me for something special. Hoppo's goal at Rochdale, when he went herring up 100 metres, I'll never forget that. The first game when Stephen scored a hat-trick at City.
Brisbane City. 3-0 down we were in 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that game at Redlands, when you played 700 games in 14 days or so again, and
We just nicked it in about 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, and of course I couldn't. It'd be remiss not to mention Cato's last season. He's got 6 hat-tricks, 33 goals that never be repeated. Yeah, but you must be happy with your time at Wolves. I mean, it's a big change.
It's a big change, and it's a new challenge. I'm thrilled to bits with what we've done. And that's not just me, that's Billy Ingledew, Dave McAvoy, Paul Edwards, and all the players. We've achieved history at Wolves. You know what I mean? Scoring, first team ever to score 100 goals. Got more points than anybody. And
you're in with a chance of winning them all.
Well, we're still in with a chance. We'll discuss that one.
Last days of the season are always very cagey.
If we get to Peninsula, I think the first thing is to get unbeaten. We've won 2 titles. We've won the cup. So
you could possibly equal Leo's record of winning every single game, but losing the Canali Cup.
If we equal that, that would be some achievement.
It would be. I thought that would be so odd for Mitchelton to win every game and only lose the Canali Cup, and Wolves to do it the next year. It's just like...
Well, it's like I said, we got 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and they're good teams. All 3 of them are really good sides. And at this time of the year, you got suspensions, you got injuries for all clubs, not just us. I think our realistic goal is to get through the season unbeaten first.
Yeah.
If we do that, I think we're the only 4th side ever to do that in the history of football in Brisbane.
I know, Switch Nice must be sick of the sight of Chris Knowles in the penalty box in the last minute. 2 years in a row that he's done that.
It's like I had a good chat with Warren Moon not so long ago. And whenever you win the league or the cup, you always have a bit of luck.
Yep.
You've got to have a bit of luck on your side. And like I said, we've had a few games this year.
Yeah.
I could name 3, Peninsula at home, East at home, and Ipswich away,
Yep.
where we just had that little bit of luck.
Yep.
To win it.
Well, the luck's gone against you.
Last year we didn't.
Over recent times, the luck. That goal Cato got disallowed against Peninsula.
Yeah.
That went against you. So you've had the bad luck.
Yeah, we had bad luck last year, and it's just football. Some years when we scored 100 goals, everything we seemed to hit in games went in. And we got the ricochets. This year, especially lately, we don't seem to be having that, but we've just dragged ourselves out of jail, and that's testament to the players, the will. And you saw that against Ipswich when we actually scored. You'd think they'd won $1,000 each.
One thing I've really liked over the last couple of weeks is that you've been really celebrating. Rito, I thought he was going to take all the skin off his chest when he scored that second goal last week.
That's what it means to him when you get
There
teams.
were teams that... Rochdale used to not celebrate. It used to annoy me.
Yeah.
No offence to Rochdale, but they used to turn around and walk away like, oh, we just scored the winner in the grand final.
Well, I think what we breed in our club, and especially when you're chasing records, it means something. And like I said, these boys at Wolves, they're part of history now.
Yeah, they are.
Because winning 19 straight in the top league will never, I don't think, ever be matched.
Yeah.
And obviously the same as Leo
until
and
next year, Leo.
Till next year.
Yeah, till next
that's
year.
right.
Till and Leo and Mitchelton's.
Yeah.
They're in Division 1. You can only beat the teams in front of you.
Yeah.
And that team and them players will go down in history for what they did in Division 1. That's if you can go through any career and make a little bit of history, then your achievements are magnificent, because there's a lot of good players in Brisbane, surrounding areas, in any major city in the world that's never won a title.
That's right.
And never won a cup.
Yep. Never played in the grand final.
Yeah. I never won a title. But I won cups.
I was playing Church League, but I won 4.
No, I never won I had a lot of runners up.
I mean, it's not hard. You just got to turn up and have your boots on, really. But I'm going to, just before we wind it up, is Sam going to be doing the pitch at Mitchelton next year? Have you got a good tractor? He likes a good tractor. Trust me.
We've spoken about all that, and we'll, come next year, we'll sit down and... Depends, if we get this artificial pitch, we won't need anyone doing that pitch.
Tractor, no. Yeah, you might need some boot polish. You might be some green polish out there, Sam.
I'm
bit of a shine before you play the Raw or something.
I'm good at emptying bins. Mooney's told me that. Yeah, he saw me emptying old bins. Oh, right. So I'm not bad at that. So I'm looking for another gig somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to put you right on the spot in the last question of today. You ruined the premiership, Sam, as I've mentioned. Thank you very much. We have nothing to follow. There's a relegation battle on. North Star will be confirmed this weekend because they only need to lose 1 point or something ridiculous. There's 4 other teams possibly could go down. Capalaba, Albany Creek, Brisbane Force and Ipswich Knights. Leo, put you on the spot. Put your head on the chopping block.
North Star are gone. I think Knights, they've got too much quality to... And you'll probably see that come through in the next 3 weeks.
Yep.
I picked them to stay up. I think the big team in trouble, it would be the 2 teams would be Force and Albany Creek.
Yeah.
You look at the last 6 weeks. I think 6 weeks ago you would have thought Albany Creek was safe, and it was out of Force and probably Ipswich Knights to go down.
Yep.
Obviously things at Creek aren't the best at the moment, and they're sort of sat in an area and everyone around them's caught up to them. So I'd be picking, I'd say Force or Creek to go down.
Which one?
Which one?
I'll put you on the spot.
Creek.
Creek, Sam?
Yeah, I think it would be. I think Capalaba, the first team and reserves are too good. I think they'll stay up. I think they might be just enough points in front. I think Ipswich have shown, if you actually look over the last 7 games, I think they're maybe 4th in their current form. So I think their first and reserves might just get enough points to get them over the line. And like Leo, I think it will be between Albany Creek and Brisbane Force. Brisbane Force, if you look at it, they're 16s and reserve, 16s and youth are pretty good. Reserves are average, and the first team is not bad. Whereas Albany Creek's, their 16s and youth are poor. the reserves are average, and the first team like average. I think it'll all come down to when Brisbane Force play Albany Creek
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah. And who's going to go?
From a selfish point of view, we're going to Mitchelton.
Yeah.
I hope it's Albany Creek.
Well, there you go. I'm actually going to. I think it'll be Brisbane Force, and I think that they will just go down. And Ipswich Knights they've got a tough run. They got Lions and Power, but they got Palabane that last day, and they will look to win those lower grades. So that's what we're tipping. The boys think that. Well, Sam sort of wants Creek to go down from a selfish point of view. Leo thinks Creek's going to go down. I think it's Force. Thanks for being on here today. Congratulations on the appointment and all that. I think I probably said that earlier in the show. Can't wait to see what happens next year. I think the minute that... Well, you like the colour yellow, actually, don't you, Sam? You like teams that wear yellow. Wolves, Mitchelton, Leeds United.
Well, Leeds United, please. Give me a break. But, dear me, I've come out in a sweat.
Yes. But as soon as you run on that field next year, whatever the draw comes out, every single eye in Brisbane is going to be watching that game. And it's fantastic for our game. It's great for the local clubs. It's great for local football. So that's been the podcast. It's been so long since I've done one, I'm getting a bit dizzy. Yeah. I have some suspicion that there will be a few more coaching changes over the next few weeks or so, and I have a suspicion that I might just get them in here to the spare office for a chat as well. I'll talk to you again sometime. See you later.
Bye.